Hello, good morning. Hi, welcome. How's everybody feeling today? Again, it's another day. It's Thursday again. Did anybody do the 30-minute express yesterday? I'm so curious how everybody's feeling about that. I was sore and sweaty. I'm thinking about keeping that 30-minute Wednesday 11:15-ish type of class for, kind of like a quick little midday, burn. Sore today, yeah, let's get moving. And the greatest thing about this type of exercise also is when you are sore, it's really good to keep moving and to, get back into it and do it again, because it opens everything up. It starts moving your body in different ways. It works through some of the soreness, and it, you can feel it kind of elongating, feeling all nice and good. Hi, Gwen. Hi, everybody. Sorry I don't call out everybody. I'm kind of going quickly. Is anybody new here? Anybody brand new that isn't familiar with some of these things? We're using a ball. If you don't have a ball, you can use a firm pillow. You can fold it up like this. A towel for your knees. I'm debating on how much knee work we're going to do today, but paint roll kind of came in the way. Anyway, I think we should get started right away. We have a bunch of really fun, good, twisty things. If at any point, one thing to mention too, if some of the twists feel too aggressive in a twist, like if this is way too much, you can pull it back slightly just for your spine to make sure that you're not over rotating past your point where you're it feels more like it's in your back, less abdominal. So take it kind of like that halfway point. I'll talk you through it as we go also, but let's start to get moving. Let's take the ball between your knees. We're going to start with some of this standing work to kind of warm up your shoulders, warm up your abdominals. Take your feet directly underneath your hips. And then one thing to note here too is try not to allow your toes to kind of or your ankles to kind of roll over onto your little toes. I want you to feel like you're pulling your big toes together, squeezing the ball, and then grounding your feet evenly here. So you're squeezing the ball, lifting up through the pelvic floor, and bend your knees just very slightly. And we're going to start to reach your hands all the way up to the ceiling, and then you're going to drop your arms down by your sides. So you're starting to feel like your abdominals are lifting in and up, giving that ball a nice little squeeze, and then drop it down. Good. So a slight bend here. Sometimes we start with a straight leg, but today we're going to do a slight bend, and then drop it down. And let's do one more. So just feel your body here moving, and then drop it down. And then you're going to reach your hands out to the sides. You're here. Turn your palms facing backwards, keeping the abdominals in. Just start to bend the elbows. Press your hands out. So you're just bending, pressing it out. Good. Shoulders are back. You're activating the triceps. You're going to feel a nice kind of stretch all the way through your fingertips. You're going to feel your forearms stretching, your biceps stretching, your abdominals connecting here. Still squeezing the inner thighs. Good. So let's keep going here. So keeping the abs in. Let's do 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. And then you're going to take your hands out to the side. Let's turn your palms facing down to the floor. Just start to squeeze your hands in toward your body, and then reach your hands back up into a T. So you're just squeezing it in here. Shoulders are dropped, lifting back up into a T. Good. Squeezing it. And lift. Good. So you're just starting to warm up the shoulders here. And then keeping your evenness on your toes. Pull the abdominals in. And let's just do 1 more. And reach the hands out. Now we're going to swim the arms forward. So you're going to extend your hands forward in front of you. And then take them out. You're going to bend the elbows in. And then reach your hands forward through here. So you're trying to keep your body stacked on top of your hips. You're trying not to shift your weight any further forward as you reach your hands forward, but just trying to open up the chest. Reach it out. Good. Keeping the abdominals in. And 1 more. Starting to connect into your breath. This is a really good point here to try to connect into the movement and feel your body being aware of what we're doing and that we're here, we're going to move. And then keep going here. Reach it out. Because part of it too is reminding yourself that this is a core exercise. We're keeping the abdominals in, reaching it out. And we also have to be mindful of the movements here. Take your hands out to the side, still soft bend. You're going to go up and over to the sides. You're going to stretch out of the side of your body. Pull your abdominals in, come back to center. Let's go over to the other side. Up and over. And then back to center. And then try, if you can, to keep your weight even on both feet. And you're really feeling the elongating up and over out of your body. Starting to wake our bodies up here. I don't know what time you guys wake up, but I've been up for a while, but still it feels like, still morning, needing to wake up and over. Good, and back. And let's do one more. And then one more over to the right. All the way up and over. Come back to center here. Still soft bend. Start to do a couple arm circles here. Big arm circles. And then let's reverse. So circle it around. And then take your hands in line with your shoulders here. You're going to pull your weight back. I'm going to shift my view here so you can really see what we've been working on here. We're trying not to go forward here. We're shifting your weight back and up. Okay, so abdominals stay in. Weight is over your heels. And you're going to take your arms behind you and then extend your hands out. So try not to pop the ribs out. So you're keeping your spine flat, but try not to tuck in the pelvis. Still squeezing the ball, planting your feet. Keep going through here. Very familiar movements by now. It's a really good way to kind of awaken your whole entire body and really feel your feet grounding, but also lifting up out of the top of your head. So you're lengthening out of your neck, reaching out through here. Press it back. Good. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more. Really nice long movements here. Last one, you're going to hold it back. You're going to just start to squeeze your thumbs together. So your thumbs are going to squeeze together, and you're going to open your arms out. So you're just kind of squeezing your hands slightly behind your body, open it out. So you're trying not to touch it because I don't want you to kind of go here. You're keeping your shoulders back, abdominals in. You're just pulling it in slightly so you can feel your triceps activating. Squeeze it in. Your palms are going to try to reach up to the ceiling so they're flipping, facing backwards behind you. And squeeze. Keeping the abs in, squeeze. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And then 1 more. And then take your hands, pull your shoulders back. Hands are going to be in line with your shoulders. Start to bend the elbows in and press it back. So you're bending, press it back through here. Okay, so holding this position. Check your weight. Make sure your weight is over your heels. I started kind of shifting forward, so remind yourself here. Oh, we're shifting backwards, trying to connect into the glutes here too. Your abdominals will hold your body from kind of rolling forward here, so you want to keep that position. Tiny pulses back. Good. Let's do 3 more. And 2 more. I'm feeling warm, warming up at all. I was freezing this morning for some reason. It's felt so cold here. 1 more. Press it back, extend your hands up in line with your shoulders here. You're going to bend the left arm, you're going to twist over to the left. So you're just rotating, looking backwards, extending your hands out. So the rotation comes from the belly button up. And you're just pulling the abdominals in. So your abdominals are twisting to pull that arm back. And then twist. And back. Good. It's really grounding the feet. Nice little twist. Back. Twist, and back. So keep going through here, just bringing it out through the waist, and twist. And let's do 1 more on each side. You should really feel your abdominals starting to work here, feel your triceps pulling, your shoulders pulling back, maybe even releasing some of the lactic acid in your back. You're going to reach your hands forward. We're going to dive your head down, so you're going to roll forward. Your knees stay bent through here. You're going to slowly roll through the spine, and you're going to get back out into that hovered position, reach your arms all the way up. So we're going to hold it here, and then dive your head forward. So keeping your weight over to your heels, slowly rolling through the spine, reaching your hands out, and around here. Diving it forward. So if you can notice that my lower half of my body is not moving at all, it's just the upper half folding over, reaching around. A lot of abdominal work here. 1 more. Rounding it forward, pulling the abdominals in, all the way around. And now you're going to stack your legs up tall as you take your arms back behind you, so stretching through your legs, bending the knees, reaching your hands out through here. Good, pressing it back. And then reach it out. Good. So your weight is still over your heels, so when you bend your knees, remember that your hips are shifting backwards as you bend. Yeah. 3 more. And back. Good. 2 more. Really grounding those big toes also. And back. And then 1 more. And back through here. Reach yourself all the way up. And you can really pull up through the ceiling, lift up out of your abdominals, and we're going to roll all the way forward. You're going to make your way onto your hands and knees. Okay. So if you have a ball or a pillow, make sure that it's slightly lifted up off the ground. So give it another little squeeze, kind of a little bit higher on your inner thighs. A little piece of something. Hands are going to be underneath your shoulders. I want you to flatten your feet first. Your toes are flat. Shoulders are back, but abdominals stay in. You're just going to start to extend your right hand out in front of you, and then drop it down. And then let's go over to the left. So you're extending your left arm out, and then drop it down. So the goal here is to not shift your weight. Your weight still stays in the center. And I want you to control the movement from your abdominals. So if you're feeling like you're going here and your shoulder grips, think of taking your hand a little bit lower. So you can even go here if you just feel the abdominals in, and then drop it down. We just don't want to aggravate the neck. So find your height here with your arm that feels most comfortable for you. And then right. And then down. So really keeping the abdominals in. Let's go over to the left. And then down. And then we're going to curl your toes underneath. You're going to hover your knees up and hold. So I just want you to hold here. Okay, we're going to do cat and cow in the air. If it feels like too much, drop your knees down. But we're going to round all the way up through here, pulling in the abdominals. Your knees stay in the same position as you start to open up your chest. It might be a little bit of a smaller cat and cow, but you're pulling your chin in, rounding the abdominals all the way up. And then exhale, open up the chest. So make sure that you're still breathing through all of these moves here. Also, if at any point this becomes too much, you can always drop your knees. And 1 more. Round it all the way up. And then open up the chest. Good. And then come back to center. Drop your knees. Unfold your toes. Roll your shoulders back, and you're going to extend your left hand back behind you. Pulling your shoulders back and abdominals stay up. You're going to start to pulse that arm up. Very tiny pulses. And check in with your ball to make sure that your inner thighs are still squeezing the ball. Remember, inner thighs are connected to the pelvic floor, connected to the low abdominals. So you keep pulsing here. Really nice. And then check and make sure that your right arm isn't hyperextended. As I tell myself that. Keep the abs in. And let's do 2 more. Good. And then holding your arm up through there, you're just going to reach it all the way down. Place it down to the floor. Pull the abdominals in, and then start to extend that right arm behind you. And then start to do tiny pulses up. So tiny pulses up through here. So checking in with your shoulders, make sure your shoulders are pulling away from your ears. Checking with your body to make sure that you're not sinking in into an arch. You're still staying lifted up through the core. Tiny pulses. Really tiny here. Good. And then keep going. Let's do 3 more. How are you feeling? And 2 more. And 1 more. Good. And then drop it down through here. Roll your shoulders back. You're going to tuck your toes underneath. You're going to start to hover your knees up and hold. So pulling in the abdominals here. I want you to do tiny pulses in on the ball. So tiny squeezes in on the ball. It's low abdominals. Try not to make it about the knees. So when you're in that position, try to feel it's more inner thigh, pelvic floor is starting to squeeze the ball there. So less of just the knees kind of coming together. So tiny pulses. Good. Shoulders are back. And let's do 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. You're going to drop your knees down, unfold your toes, reach your arms all the way out, stretch out of the shoulders here. And then we're going to lift up and you're going to take your knees off to the left. So your knees are going to be twisted off to the left, but your upper body is still facing towards the floor. So you're rotating your lower half over to the left. Your upper body twists to the right. Shoulders are back and your hips are going to stay forward. You're going to start to bend your elbows down and then push it up. So your shoulders are back away from your ears. You're bending very slightly. So it's a little mini push-up, but your elbows are coming in towards your sides. Shoulders are back. Your lower half is at a twist. And then push it up. And remind yourself that your right oblique and your right, that corset muscle is still lifting up to the ceiling. Let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. And then from here, you're going to round through the body. You're going to drop your left knee down to the floor. You're going to push back like you're in like a kind of a twisted child's pose. You're going to roll through the spine. And you're going to lift up in the chest, open up your chest, kind of like a mermaid. And then round all the way back, pushing into your left knee, stretching out of your body, pulling the abdominals in, rolling through the spine, and you're staying lifted up through here. So we're not sinking. You're pulling the abdominals in and then just lifting up even further. Okay, round it back. Pushing through the arms, pulling the abdominals in, open up the chest, and let's do 1 more. Pulling the abdominals in as you stretch through that left arm, and you're going to open up the chest, and then come all the way back. Push through your arms, take a second here. And then you're going to take your right hand just a little bit closer into the center of your body because we're going out into a side plank here. So everybody get to your side plank here where you're lifting up off that right shoulder, abdominals stay in. Give the ball a little squeeze. You're going to lift your hips up as you take this left arm up and over your head. And then you're just dipping it down very slightly, looking over towards your left knee. Pulling the abdominals in, lift all the way up. And dipping it down. If it feels like a little bit too much to be on your full arm, you can drop down to your elbow at this point. Pulling it in and dropping it down. So you're still squeezing the ball, inner thighs. Your feet can either be lifted up off the ground or they can be onto the floor. And it depends how you're feeling today. And let's do 2 more. And drop it down. And 1 more. And then drop it down. And now you're going to hold your side plank, open up the chest. You're going to do tiny dips of that bottom arm, and then push it up. So you're going to bend it very slightly. Think abdominals lift you up. So a tiny bend, push it up. If it feels like this is too much, just hold your side plank and keep pulling the abdominals in. And then 1 more. Ooh. All the way up, and then you're going to twist towards the floor. Hands are going to stay right in line with your shoulders. Shoulders are going to be back. You're going to start to bend your elbows down and then push it up. We're just doing 5 here. And 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Perfect. All right. Face down to the floor. Reach both hands out. Take a nice stretch out of your arms. You're going to fold your left hand underneath your right arm, extend out through that right arm. Get a nice twist. Take a deep breath. Okay. And then we're going to take your hands in line with your shoulders. Here, your knees are going to twist over to the right. So your ball is still squeezed. Your feet are together here. Shoulders are back away from the ears. Pull the abdominals in. Tiny bends here. So just a tiny bend. And then push up through the core. So your elbows stay in, shoulders stay back. Your hips are twisted over to the right and your chest is down to the floor. It looks so easy, but this twist is pretty killer. So if at any point the twist is too much, you can pull it slightly less of a twist. You can balance on that left knee. If you need a towel underneath, go for that also. And then 1 more. Good. And then we're going to pull the abdominals in, dropping the right knee down to the floor, stretching out of the right side. And then you're rolling through the spine. And you're going to slightly start to lift in and up. So you're pulling the abdominals in, pushing it back, stretching through your arms, dropping that knee, rolling through the spine here. So it's like a twisted mermaid, child's pose, moving child's pose. Drop it back. Good. Rolling through the spine. And lift. And one more. And rolling through. And lift. And then let's just press it back one more time. Get a nice stretch before we move into that modified side plank. And you're going to lift up, take that left hand slightly into the center, and you're going to twist over to the right. Reach it up through here, and I want you to stay lifted up off your abdominals, up off the shoulder. Extend that arm all the way up, and you're going to lift your hips up as you take that right arm up and over your head. And dip it down very slightly, turning, looking towards your right knee, so abdominals stay in and up. Pull the abdominals in. So your abdominals really drive this movement, okay? So it's not really necessarily your arm, it's not your hip, it's not your left shoulder. So if you just feel like you can just lift up just a very tiny bit to get the abdominals in, that's all good. And then dip it down. And let's do one more. And then dip it down. And then you're going to hold yourself out into a side plank here, pull the abdominals in, tiny bends, and push it up. So if you can see what's happening on the shoulder is still staying away from my ear. The elbow is pulling in towards my body. And I'm lifting up through the core. So it's lats, triceps all down through here to lift. Let's do 3 more. And lift. And 2 more. And lift. And 1 more. And lift. And then you're going to twist down to the floor. Take both hands in line with your shoulders. Hips stay forward here, shoulders stay back. You're going to bend the elbows down. Push up through the core. Bend. Push it up. And 3 more here. And lift. 2 more. And lift. And then last one. And then take your child's pose here. Extend your left hand all the way out. And then you can take your right hand underneath, get a nice twist over to the side. Stretch through that arm. And then let's lift up. So you can roll through your spine. You're going to stack on top of your knees. Just do 2 arm circles here just to open up the chest. How are we feeling? How are our arms feeling? It's a lot of shoulder stability work. But we're going to work through all that. 1 more. All the way around. Okay. Let's take your feet facing forward in the front of your mat. Let's take your feet together. The ball is going to be between the knees. We've been working on these. Stack the spine all the way up. Shoulders are going to drop down. You're going to scoop and roll down all the way. So you're going to peel through the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Take your hands all the way up over your head. Stretch out through the fingertips. And then pull your chin and slowly start to go all the way back up. So because these are our first roll downs of the day, if you need to, you can grab on underneath your knees. So for some extra support, you can walk your hands down your legs, especially on the lift. Pull your chin in, you can start to walk through here, kind of grab, helping your abdominals lift up. Let's scoop and roll all the way down. All the way down. And then pulling the abdominals in. And lift. And let's do 2 more. Scoop and roll down. All the way up. Good. So use this moment to align your spine. Find your center here, squeezing the ball, connecting into the pelvic floor. Try to work through every little vertebrae. Open up your chest, allow your shoulders to kind of massage on the floor. And then pull the chin and let's slowly start to lift back up. And then you're going to scoop and roll about halfway here. We're going to try to find a neutral pelvis. So we're not in a full tuck, but you're rounding through here. You're going to start to reach your right hand up. And then drop it down. And then reach your left hand up. And then drop it down. So you're squeezing the ball very slightly here, or the pillow. You're going to go up. And try not to allow just your knees to squeeze the pillow. So you're trying to wrap kind of around the bottom of the ball. So you're trying to squeeze through here, like underneath, wrapping around. And back to center. And let's go right, back to center, and then left. And then back to center. And then from here, you're going to roll down, pulling through the abdominals. Reach your hands all the way up. And then pull the chin in. Let's slowly start to roll all the way back up. And now you're going to scoop and roll halfway here and hold. Now you're just going to take your right arm out to the side, but you're not going to open up your chest and pull it in. So you're just keeping your chest forward, pushing through the arm as you come back. So you're just opening, push it through. Open here. Nice. You're just opening it up. I'm starting to really heat up here. Open it up. And then push it through. Keep the abdominals in. And then back. Try to turn off the hip flexors. Remind yourself to pull your heels into your glutes. Let's do one more on each side. And then over to the left. Ooh, abs. Back to center. Scoop and roll all the way down. Heel through the abdominals. Take your hands all the way up. And then let's pull the chin in. Let's slowly start to lift all the way back up. I'm going to scoop myself forward. I keep hitting the wall. Lifting up through here. You're going to scoop and roll halfway here and hold. You're going to open up your left arm. You're going to twist to the left. You're going to try to pull your fingertips apart from each other. And then come back to center. You're going to go to the right. You're twisting but not shifting your knees. So find your widest twist. If it's right here, it's totally fine. If you can get all the way back, that's fine too. Think the belly button up is rotating. Back to center. And then left. And then back to center. We're going to go over to the right. And back to center. And we're going to go over to the left and you're going to hold. We're going to do tiny pulses up. Very tiny. 2, or just 5. Think pulling your fingertips apart. 3, 4, brutal, 5. And back to center. Go over to the right. We're going to do 5 here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Roll all the way down. Peeling through the spine. Taking your hands all the way up over your head. And let's go right back up. You're going to pull the chin in. Slowly start to lift back up. And you're going to now grab onto the ball or the pillow. Take it in front of your body. Give it a little squeeze. You can take your feet, knees kind of a little bit more together here. We're going to scoop and roll all the way back. Peeling through the spine. Taking the ball all the way up through here. And now as we pull the chin in, you're going to slowly start to roll up. And you're going to start to hover your knees up. We're going to hold here. You're going to take the ball or pillow. You're going to go underneath, over to the right. Back up to the left. You're going to hold. You're going to start to peel down as you start to drop your feet. Woo. Roll all the way down. Reach the hands all the way up. So you're going to now pull the chin in. Slowly start to lift as you draw the knees in. So think more abdominal work here. The ball goes underneath to the left. You can always do this without a prop. And even right here too, if you feel like it's too much to roll down, you can drop your feet and then roll down through here. They're all hard. Pull the chin in. Slowly start to lift back up. I think my abs from yesterday are kicking in. Okay. Go right underneath and lift and hold. And then scoop and roll and start to drop the feet. Roll it all the way out. Pull the chin in. And let's go back up. Oh, all the way up. Keeping the abdominals in. Let's go left, underneath. And lift up through here. And then scoop and roll all the way down. Peeling through the spine. Okay, we're going to stay up on this next one. So you're going to pull the abdominals in. We're going to slowly start to lift back up here and hold. And we're just going to drop the ball under. Over. 2. Keep the abdominals in. You're going to squeeze the knees together if you can. And 1 more. And lift. And then drop the feet down. Slowly. Oh, my abs are giving out. How are yours feeling? And let's go one more time again. We're going to switch the ball in the opposite direction. Pull the chin in. Let's start to lift up through here and hold. The ball's going to go underneath over to the left. We're just going to do 5 here. Keep the abdominals in. 2. And 3. Keep the abs in. 4. And 5. A lot of stability here. Scoop and roll all the way down. Whoa. 1 more. We're going to go all the way up. Pull the chin in. Start to lift up through here. Try not to yank like I just did. Try not to use momentum. Open up your knees. Take a butterfly stretch. Stretch through your hands. Stretch through your chest. Lengthen out of your spine. You can kind of butterfly your feet around. And then we're going to lift up and let's lay all the way flat onto your back. So you're going to lay all the way down. You're going to take the ball underneath the nape of your neck. It's going to act like a pillow. And then I'm going to have you have your arms out into a T. Okay, so we're going to try to relax your neck as much as possible here. You're going to take one knee at a time into tabletop. So you're going to really open your arms out wide, pulling the abdominals in here, find your center, and then just start to squeeze your hands together above your head, and then open it up. So this is more tabletop, but I kind of like to lift a little bit higher. I find my tailbone to be a little bit more grounded there. I find my abdominals a little bit more, so find your position. Squeeze the arms, open the arms out wide. So keeping the abdominals in here, and then open it out. So make sure you're not in an arch here. It's more important to not be in an arch than it is into the tuck. I love the neutral pelvis, but it does take some work to get there. So if your back starts to hurt, go a little bit more into a tuck. One more. Open it up. And now you're going to take your hands up to the ceiling, turn your palms facing towards your knees. You're going to take your hands down by your side, stretching through the arms. You're going to reach your hands up and over your head, but without arching the spine. So keeping the abdominals in. Anybody else feeling ab work? There should be a lot of ab work here to kind of keep your body stable. So you're trying to have no movement in your core here. And then reach it all the way up. And let's do 3 more. And up, reach it out. 2 more. Make sure you're still breathing here too. And 1 more. And up. And then you're going to take your hands behind your head. Pull your elbows in slightly. We're going to do that leg extension bicycle. You're going to reach your right leg up. Drop it down to the floor. Bend the knee and reach it all the way up. So try not to move your hips at all. We get lots of length happening in your leg. If you want to, also if you're feeling a lot of flare in your hip flexor, you can take this knee down and do the movement here. It still is a lot of work. So if you're having any sort of hip flexor pain or any sort of uncomfort there, go drop the knee down. And then up. So you're going to reach it out. Bend it in. Let's do 1 more. Reach it all the way up. Now we're going to reverse. We're going to bend the knee, extend it out, start to lift the leg up. If you're feeling any tightness in your hamstrings today, you can flex the foot up and get a little bit more of a stretch. Reach it out and lift. And remind yourself that the core is still starting this movement here. So your abdominals stay in, you're stretching it out. So stretching it out, lifting it up. And let's do 1 more. Left, and then bend the knee. Come back to center. We're going to go right over to the other side. Take that left leg up, drop it down, stretching out of your body, bending the knee and reaching it all the way up. So full range here. And reach it down. All the way up. So trying to elongate out through the leg. Feel like it starts up here, kind of where your ribs are, and you're elongating out through your toes. You're trying to stretch out, and then keep that length in your spine as your leg pulls in. Let's do 1 more. And then reverse. So remember, if you need that extra stretch, go to flex. Reach it out. Lift. How are we doing? Are we doing okay here? It's kind of like our nice position. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of deep stability work here, but it feels kind of nice and peaceful. And 1 more. Good. So let's bend the knees into the chest. Give your knees a little hug for a second. Rock side to side. And then your hands are going to come behind your head. You're going to take your knees into tabletop, and you're going to open up your knees and then flex the feet. So we're going to curl up looking towards the abdominals very slightly here. You're going to start to press your legs out straight. You're going to zip through the inner thighs. Start to draw the knees back in. So you're squeezing through the inner thighs. So you're really locking your heels together, feeling like your legs are kind of one piece here. So it's a slight lift, squeezing it in, and bend, and reaching it out. So a slight lift in the upper body, zipping through the inner thighs, let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more. And you're going to bend your knees in here. You're going to hold. Drop the head back down onto the floor. Elongate out through your spine so your head's relaxing on the pillow. You're going to start to press your right leg out straight. And then bend the knee to come back in. So you're holding a tabletop, but you're stretching through the heel. And your hips are externally rotated. So your toes are out to the side, but your heel is still pressing through the center. So you're not going out on a diagonal here. You're pressing through the center, zipping up through the inner thighs, stretching it through. And reaching through the heel, and then out. And let's do 1 more on each side. And then last one. Good. And then pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. You can rock side to side. How's our timing going? We're doing good. Okay. All right, let's take the ball around. Take the ball between your knees. We're going to do some rolling like a ball. I hope this feels good for you guys, just to start to feel your spine kind of move. If not, you're always welcome to hold this position. You can roll just like a tiny bit. But if you're feeling like this kind of resets your spine, kind of rolls through some of your lactic acid, rolls through your shoulders, pulls the abdominals in, you can continue to do this. We're just going to do a few just to get ourselves up here. So rolling it back, lifting up and hold. And 1 more. And then lifting it up. Okay, awesome. All right, we're going to go over back onto your knees. We're going to do some like lengthening glute work, a lot of abdominals. So the ball's going to go ball or pillow. It's going to go underneath your left arm. So you're going to extend your left arm out straight. We're going to start with a full arm here, and then we're going to make our way down onto a forearm. Okay, so we're going to start here. Take your knees underneath your shoulders, and then stretch out through that left arm here. So your left arm is extended, your shoulders are pulling back, and then you're going to extend out through your right foot, and you're going to reach it all the way out through there, and then you're going to start to hover it up. So you're keeping it in line with your body here. You're going to bend the knee in, you're going to round the abdominals up, but still reaching out of that left arm, and then you're going to elongate out of the spine. So you're pulling the knee in, rounding through the core, and then extend all the way out. So if you want to also, if you feel like your spine is super mobile today, you can also add a nice kind of swan extension. So as you pull the knee in, you can go here and open up in the chest if that feels comfortable. Feels like it grips into your back. Just go back out to center here. And let's do 2 more. And then 1 more. And then you're going to reach it out here and hold. You're just going to tap the toe down to the floor and then lift it up. So you're still stretching out of that left arm, just tapping and lifting here. Keep pulling in the abdominals. And lift. So you're really tapping into the glute, stretching out of your arm. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And then 1 more. And then you're going to drop that knee down, and you're going to go into your right arm, so your hand is turning underneath your left arm and turning inwards, and you're going to stretch your body out long, and then your right leg extends out again, and you're going to start to lift it up. So you're going to find this nice long position. You can stretch your body down to the floor and really get a nice stretch. We're pulling the abdominals in, try not to arch your back. Do tiny pulses up with this top leg. So you're still lifting through the core here. Try not to take it into your back. Keeping the abdominals in, really stretching through that left arm. Nice little stretch here. And then keep pulling your right shoulder back, but you can kind of stretch your chest down to the floor, but keep the abs in. Just an extra reminder. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more. 1 more you're going to hold, start to bend the knee in. You're going to tap the knee down to the floor, and then extend it all the way out. You're just bending the knee and tap. Extend it out. So you're tapping and extend. Some nice extension through the leg, out of that left arm. And tap and extend. And let's do 2 more. Reach it out. And then one more. And reach it all the way out. And you're going to drop the knee down. Take this left arm behind your right hand, and we're going to flip over to the side. So we've done this before. We're revisiting this again. Your hand is on top of the ball. You're going to open up out to the side. Lift up through the chest, and what I want you to do here is rotate your body down to the floor. So rather than opening up to the side, we're going to be twisting down to the floor here. Now you're going to bend the knee, tap the ankles together, and extend it all the way out. So now your chest is in a slight rotation towards the floor. Your left hip is up to the ceiling. So it's a little bit of a different twist. We've been doing it this way, extending it out. Now I want you to rotate here, reach it out. And out. And out. How are we feeling? We're still feeling good. Still here, extending it out. Good. Nice. And out. Let's do two more. And out. And then one more. And you're going to go all the way out here and hold. Now you're going to tap the toe down, and then you're going to lift it up. So that left hip is still open, and lift. So you're keeping it rotated. It's not parallel to the floor. It's open. Drop it down, and lift. And keep pulling the abdominals in. Let's do three more here. And two more. And lift. And then last one. You're going to lift it up and hold. Now we're going to go into a straight leg, but your upper body still stays down to the floor. You're going to go tap, and then back. So you're going to go tap. If you can't tap the floor, no big deal. If it's here, no big deal also. Just try your best, keeping the core in, and then back. So remember, your chest is facing down to the floor. Two more. And one more. And up. Whew. Okay. That was deep. That's like Epsom salt bath deep. Okay. Take your right leg in front. Let's take a pigeon stretch here. You can drop your head down. If you want that extra little stretch, you can take the ball underneath your left knee. And you can stretch down. It gives you just a little bit further. I'm going to do mine without today. And then drop your head down. And take a deep breath here. All right, let's go right over to the other side. So I'm going to flip around here. We're going to go onto your knees again. Let me see if you can see. You're going to extend your right hand all the way out straight, and you're going to take your left hand underneath your shoulder. Make sure your knees are underneath your hips, really stretching through the body. I want you to really work on like this stretch coming through your core, lengthening out through here. Start to extend your left leg out. So even in this position, you're pulling in the core, lifting up out of the abdominals. Start to take that leg up here. Extend out through your left leg. You're going to bend the knee in, rounding through the body. And then open up your chest. Remember, if you want to, you can go into an extension. So bending again, pulling the abdominals in, reaching it out. So I want you to really feel your core starting this movement. Think every other part of your body that feels like it's working is secondary. So your core drives the move. Your glutes, your arms, everything else comes after the abdominal. And two more. Reach it out. And one more. Extend it out here and hold. Now you're keeping that hip parallel. You're going to tap the toe and lift. And then lift. So it's a parallel foot. Yeah. Keeping your hips square. Keeping the abdominals in. Shoulders are back. It's like that smile area underneath your glute. That's where we're trying to work. Two more. And one more. And then drop that knee down. We're going over to your left elbow. Take the ball right here. You're going to open up that right hip. Okay, so you're going to extend out through here. Now your upper body twists towards the floor. So the rotation comes here. Shoulders are back. Abdominals stay in. You're going to bend the knee, tap your ankles together, and extend it out. So you're going here, extend it out. So remember, upper body is twisted down to the floor. It changes the movement altogether rather than going here. It's a totally different part of the glute, a different part of the abdominals. So really try to twist down to the floor. So it may look like a similar move, but very different in the way it's working. And then out. And let's do one more. And out. You're going to keep that hip open, tap the toe down to the floor, and then lift it up. So keeping the abdominals in. Try not to arch your spine. So it's not really about how high your leg can lift. It's more about keeping your spine straight, and your leg will just kind of find its height through that. Drop. Keep pulling the shoulders back. Keep the abs in. Almost done here. Let's do one more. Lift it up, and then we're going to tap the toe over to the side. So you're going to go tap, and then extend it out. And tap, extend it out. Whew. Keep facing down to the floor, and out. Two more. Oh, it burns. And one more. And up. Oh my gosh. Second side is a killer. Okay. Take your left foot underneath. You're going to pigeon stretch on the left side. Drop your head down. Get a nice big stretch. Okay. Tap on the hip. Very deep. I recommend foam rolling. I'm going to do a whole foam rolling series because I feel like it's so needed. Okay. All right. How are we doing? I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to flip my mat around again. I'm going to have you flip your legs around. We're going to take the ball between your shoulder blades. So let's lay down on top of the ball. We're going to take your legs out straight right now. Let's go back a little. So you're going to squeeze your heels together. Can you see my feet? Yeah. And I just want you to open up your chest for a second. You can wiggle your legs around. Just release some of that tension. And then you're going to take your hands behind your head, and we're going to curl up looking towards your abdominals. So you're going to lift up your left leg, and you're going to cross it over past your right knee. You're going to keep your hips square from here. You're just going to start to open up the chest towards the ceiling, and then do a little mini curl looking up towards the abdominals. So you're just opening up the chest. Try to relax your legs here. So you're opening and lifting. So it's not a crunch here. I want you to add the hip lift. So we're not going here and tucking, okay? We're keeping the tailbone down. It's just a slight lift in the upper body. It's almost like if you had like a string up in the chest right here, and it's like pulling you up on this trajectory, like this diagonal there, and you're like lifting it up. And let's do two more. And then one more. And then we're going to twist to the left. You're going to do a tiny mini twist to the left. Slight rotation. Come back to center. Slight rotation. And then back. So we're doing a tiny twist. And back to center. Twist. And let's do two more. And one more. And then we're going to come back to center. You're going to curl up here and hold. You're going to start to hover that left foot, and then you're going to extend it out on a diagonal, and then you're going to cross your leg here. So you're going to extend it out, and then cross. So put a positioning here. If your legs are out straight, this is the position. You're going here. See how it kind of matches up with my left shoulder. Reaching it out, and then dropping it down. So let's keep going here. You're going to think inner thigh. You're going to think abdominal as well. You're reaching it out and drop. And let's do one more. And you're going to keep the legs straight. Now you're going to squeeze your ankles together so you're crossing your left over your right, and then drop it down. So you're lifting, crossing it, drop it down. So you're keeping the abdominals in. A lot of inner thigh work here. Squeeze and drop. And let's do 2 more. Drop. And 1 more. And then drop. And then just open up your chest to get a nice little stretch. Take a deep breath. And then we're going to curl up again and hold. Take your right foot past your left knee. So really plant it down here, elongate through your core. Just start to open up your chest. Do a little mini curl looking up towards your abdominals. You're going to open here, curl and lift. And then lift. Tiny little lifts through here. And let's go here. And then we're going to rotate to the right. Little twist. And then twist. Try to keep your hips exactly where they are. Just your upper body. Make sure that you're not leading with the neck. And twist. And then 1 more. Come back to center. You're going to lift up here and hold. Start to hover your right leg up. You're going to extend it on a diagonal. And then cross. So extend, cross. Really nice. Reach it out. How are we doing? Let's do 2 more. I'm so impressed that everybody's doing a 60-minute class. I really appreciate you sticking with me here. And then 1 more. Extend it out. You're going to squeeze your ankles. You're going to cross to the left, lift it up and drop to the side. So you're going to squeeze and cross. And then drop it down. So zipping it up, dropping it down. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more. And you're going to drop the foot down, open up your chest, wiggle your legs out here. And then we're going to lift your head up. You're going to start to lift up, grab onto the ball, and then take the ball in front of you, roll it down your leg, drop your head down, get a nice stretch. So, I want to do a quick teaser. We're just going to do it like a couple times each side, because I want everybody to practice it if you've been continuing to do these. If not, you can always skip this and go into the ball under the hips and just kind of wiggle your legs around for a second. But I recommend we all try it. So the ball's between your ankles. You're laying all the way flat, so you're extending your left hand all the way out. You're pulling the abdominals through here, and you're going to roll over onto your right hip, and then you're going to pull your knees in, and we're going to lift up here and hold. You can make this a little bit more challenging by taking this arm up and over here, and you're going to lift your left arm up. We're going to twist to the side, roll all the way down, stretch out of your legs, and then pull the abdominals in. So you're going to roll over to the right hip, pull the abdominals in here, hold. You can take this arm up and over. Reach that arm up and over. Nice little twist. Roll through the arm. Stretch out of your body here. Okay, let's just do 3 on each side, pulling the abdominals in. So you're rolling through. You're getting a nice little massage on your glutes as you lift it in and up. Take this hand up and over. You're still squeezing the ball on your ankles. Up and over. Twist to the left. And roll all the way down. Okay, we're just going to roll over to the right and do the opposite side. Squeezing here, just practicing here. Stretch out of that arm. Stretch out of your legs. Your right arm is relaxed. And your left hand is down on the floor. You're going to roll back onto your left hip. Pull the knees in here. Hold. You're going to take this arm up and over. And then you're going to start to twist. Take your right hand up and over. Roll it all the way down. And then stretch through your abdominals. And let's pull the knees in here. Hold, go up and over, hold, twist over to the right, roll all the way down, lengthen out of your legs. Let's just do 1 more here. Rolling through, arm goes up and over, pull the abdominals in, lifting it up, twisting, and then roll all the way down, and stretch. So nice, okay. Let's take the hips on top of the ball really quickly. We're just going to do a little stretch here. Hips lift up, take the ball underneath your hips. The tailbone's going to go in the center of the ball. You can reach your hands around, grab onto the ball, or take your hands down by your side. Let's take your legs up to the ceiling, do a little wiggle here. And then take your toes apart, heels together. Open your legs out to the side. You're going to flex your feet. Squeeze it in and point. Open it out. Flex. Squeeze. Let's do one more. And squeeze, and now you're going to flex your feet open. Point and squeeze. Flex and open. Relax your shoulders here. Point and squeeze. And one more. And you're going to drop your right leg down to the floor. Take your left knee into your chest. Give it a nice little pull. And let's switch legs. Take the left leg out. Take your right knee into your chest. Give it a little pull. You're going to stretch out of that left hip flexor. And then drop your feet down. Let's lift your hips in and up. Take your right knee into your chest and cross your right foot past your left foot. Pull the knee in so you're kind of at a light rotation. And then cross your left arm past your right leg. Twist over to the side. Get a nice little twist here. Ooh, I love the bump. And then come back to center. Switch sides. Bend the knee in, cross your left foot over. Get this little pull here. And then cross and get a nice twist over to the left. And then come back to center. And my time is going to run out, but if you feel like you need any extra stretches, take the extra stretches. Thank you for joining me. How are we feeling? I feel very good. I have like nice little rosy cheeks here. Saturday, I guess again, 60-minute Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday, there's going to be 2, so I think I'm going to do a 30 and 30 express, like a 10 and I think, or a 10, maybe, yeah, a 10 and an 11. I'll tell you guys all about that. Send me any messages for anything that you are, feeling funky. I really appreciate everybody reaching out, being like, oh, my shoulder hurts and this, like, what should I do? And all that, because all of that is great to listen to your body and to make sure that everything is healthy. I love you all. Have a great day. It's sunny here in Brooklyn today. It's cold, but it's sunny, so that's great. Love you. Bye.